Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour sponsored by Better. Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better or visit better.app now. Sign up today. Get free money. No deposit necessary. BETR.app. Better. Let's go.
Great moments in history have begun with a question.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And what kind of hair product does Mitch Moss use? But Follow the Money wants to know.
Do you concur? Concur with me? What, sir? Do you concur?
I'm ready. Let's go. The powers that be will take a wrecking ball to this sport. In light of the report the last couple days that the Big Ten has a proposal of a 24-team college football playoff. Do you concur?
Absolutely, and I would say they are in the process of taking a wrecking ball to this sport. Did you see the report today that Michigan, who knows if this has any legs, considering leaving the Big Ten? Go independent?
Oh, no.
Like, please, full stop here, guys.
They have to make Notre Dame join a conference.
I would say absolutely.
Their
no question.
What's going on?
Yes, Pauly, everything about this. And it's, by the way, now it's going at warp speed.
Oh, no.
With a sport that refused to go to a playoff and had a mythical champion forever. And then they had the BCS crap, finally put in a 14 playoff. And now we're like, you think this is fast? Hold on a second here. Now we're going to have 24-team playoffs. We're going to have 20-team leagues overall. We're going to rip down the Pac-12.
Nobody wants this.
And nobody does.
People wanted 8. That was a 4. We were okay, but 8 was the number. That was the correct number, 8. Not 12. Well, how about 14? How about, let's do this. How about you got the 24 and you got... I mean, it's just ridiculous what they're doing. And rest assured, they're going to do something with March Madness, too.
Oh, God, don't even...
That thing will shoot up in the 70s or 80s.
Well, it ties into what we were saying last segment. They're going to get rid of the Maui Invitational? What are we doing here? Come on. Oh, so, by the way, I want Texas and Oklahoma back in the Big 12. I don't want Washington playing at Rutgers on a Friday night. I don't want Maryland playing at Oregon.
And it's a conference game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Watched one battle after another the other day. DiCaprio's awesome. It's the favorite to win Best Picture. We will never see another career like Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you concur?
You mean with the resume overall?
Because he got so big and he's such a great actor that he gets to pick and choose in the roles and the scripts he gets. It is just one after another. Bang. Gangs of New York. Catch Me If You Can. Aviator. Departed. Blood Diamond. Shutter Island. J. Edgar. Django Unchained. Great Gatsby. Wolf of Wall Street. Revenant. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Killers of the Flower Moon. One battle after another. It's insanity, his resume.
It's a hell of a laundry list right there. Probably not. I mean, who's it going to be? Timothy Chalamet? Is he going to be the guy?
I don't see half his pictures. I mean,
neither do I.
Yeah.
And by the way, like movies now, for the most part, a lot of them, it's, the stuff that he has been kind of like relatable stuff or real life stuff that you could actually see happening. A lot of these movies are just so fake. And they have all the animation or the CGI and the AI involved. It's not for me anyway.
I missed Inception too. Another one. Awesome.
So are you saying like he is... Well, but hold on. We probably said the same thing about like Pacino and De Niro. Like they would never be touched.
I don't know. I don't recall that.
Oh, I think we
Maybe.
did. Jack probably said 10 years ago, who's ever going to touch that resume?
Well, Jack messed it up though. Jack did some stinkers. But also DiCaprio has done any stinkers. It's been like this for 20 years. The other thing, the resume is more impressive off the court.
That would be Derek Jeter right there.
Right, but I think DiCaprio's got him beat, but it's close. Okay, in light of what happened last night, I'll give you 2. You cannot bet Notre Dame to miss, but you damn right you take Old Miss to miss at the same price, 11-1. Do you concur?
There's only one way to look at that. You're absolutely spot on. It would be Ole Miss. And if they lose, that's a losable football game, by the way, next week in the Egg Bowl to Miss State. They can lose that game, and then if Lane's out, they can absolutely say, well, they're 6th right now. We're going to drop them. After what they did to Alabama by losing to Oklahoma, we can drop them to 12-13, and there's no Lane Kiffin.
To me, that's the biggest story of what happened last night.
Was Alabama?
Alabama.
No question.
Alabama outplays Oklahoma, beat themselves with turnovers. They drop 6 spots. So if you're Ole Miss laying a 10, whatever it is, against Miss State, or you're Oregon at Washington, or even this Saturday. You lose, you're dropping big time, and you're not going to make it.
And no, we kicked that around yesterday. Maybe there's a path here where they're going to change their minds and say, like, logic sets in. Miami, that win over Notre Dame is too strong against Notre Dame. That is completely out the window. So grabbing the 11 or 12 to 1 on Notre Dame to miss, you cannot do that right now. You can't, because they're gonna stuff them in. Yeah. They're gonna force Notre Dame in. They're in.
Yeah, they play 2 cupcakes.
You're right.
So there it is, and they're already sitting there at 9.
And they'll win by a combined 80 points in their next 2 games.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna say, oh, look at how well they're playing right now. So, if healthy, we're looking at the longest dynasty in the NBA since Michael Jordan's Bulls. Do you concur? It's unfair what's going on with the Thunder. And they set it up like this.
Yeah, with all these draft picks too. Probably, yes. Now, I really believe Jordan and the Bulls would have won 8 in a row if he didn't retire. He was an assassin. He was that good.
I think most people do, yeah.
It was just, the guy never went to his 7th game.
Mm-hmm.
It was all-time the GOAT. Couldn't touch him. Always delivered in a big game. But this is just, I'm with you, that this is their numbers defensively, and the gap between number 1 and number 2, and Shea doesn't even play in 4th quarters, and they might win 74 games, and that prop that's even up. But they did struggle in the playoffs last year. This Denver team would have beat them last year. Gordon was hurt, Murray was hurt, still took them to 7. Went 7 with Indiana. But your comeback is they're better this year. But that's a long ways to go.
Yeah,
how many they got to win? They got to win 6 then?
So the Lakers, with Kobe and Shaq, they won 3 straight.
Yeah.
And then Kobe eventually won a couple more on top of that. They also made another NBA Finals. I think the starting point would here, they have to win at least 3 straight.
Yes, that's the start.
Because that matches LA.
And the 4-peat tops.
So I got news for you, too. I forgot about this part. Not only do they have the Clippers' first-round pick, and the Clippers are 4-10 right now, they also have Utah's first-round pick, which is top 8 protected, I believe.
This has happened.
I got to confirm that real quick.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yep.
40 people or more will go 20-0 in Circa Survivor. There's so many bad teams. Do you concur?
I concur.
Yeah?
Yeah, I concur with that. With 900-plus people left, and now we're in week 12. Well, we do have 9 weeks left. 9. So on average, to get below that, you're going to have 100 people get whacked every single week. I think we're going to have some carnage here, and I don't think it's going to be like 200 people left, but I think the fair number is... I'm not going to battle you on 40. I'm not going to battle you.
All right.
There are some people here who are really... the entry... One person has 10 entries.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't if they don't shove and get burned one of these weeks, they're going to have a stranglehold on this entire thing. There's another entry with 6 at least.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams left in this field right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Paul, think about it this way. I was bounced last year in week 10. It was down to 150 people.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was just, 95% of the field was gone after a month.
Right.
Okay. Forgot about that.
Unless there's still time for this to happen, the tail end of 2025 could turn into the beginning of 2024.
Tony made a good point, though, about the injuries, and it's already starting to happen. Forget about August. A month ago, you never thought a scenario where you're going to take the Saints, or the Saints could be favored here. But now with all the injuries and how bad Atlanta looks, DOA, that you could take the Saints.
Yep. All right, there you go. You concur. There is news today in the National Football League, by the way. And this could have the tremors from this news could lead into this week and maybe next week because Lamar Jackson missed practice today with an ankle. So think about this for a second here with him this season. Hamstring was the big boy. He's also had a bad knee, and now he has an ankle injury, and he missed practice today.
I think he'll be fine. I think the other news, which is significant, is Joe Burrow is one step closer to returning to game action. He wants to play. He will play because, as I forgot, the coach is on the hot seat. He's not going to tell him no. It's the first time he's been 100% in practice since September 14th. It was the first time he went through 11-on-11 drills in his return to practice. Taylor was asked if he could start against New England. Until we get through some practices, there's no reason for me to even speculate on that. Burrow has eyed Thanksgiving night as a potential return date.
Wouldn't that be something if Burrow plays in the game and Lamar Jackson doesn't?
That would be.
Imagine that flipping.
Yeah.
Here's what you could do right now if you're thinking about using Baltimore. I'm just talking out loud. If you're thinking about maybe using Baltimore next week in Survivor, how about you grab that look-ahead number right now with Cincinnati? Grab it, put that in pocket. The limits are going to be obviously a lot lower than next week. And then if the news changes, you can get off Baltimore and Survivor, and you're going to have the Bengals at what's the number now? 9.5 in pocket? 7.5? What is it?
7.5's out there.
Coming
Both
down
games.
now?
Both games now.
Yeah.
Both came down to 7.5 with this news.
I mean, I'd like to have Bengals plus 7.5 in pocket if Burrow plays and Lamar Jackson's hurt.
He just isn't himself. He's not taking off and
No,
running.
he's not at all.
Silly interceptions. Not the same player, but still 4 in a row. And the defense has been great.
If Lamar Jackson, again, no practice today, ankle injury. If he doesn't, again, we're having a discussion here. If he doesn't play against the Jets on Sunday, you still want to use Baltimore? Use him this week because
Huntley beat the Bears.
Sure, not as many people will be on him then?
Yeah.
As a possibility? Okay. We are going to discuss the best and worst teams ATS in the NFL and college football and give you some red-hot numbers with trends in the NHL coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Matt Youmans joins the program coming up in 15 minutes. We'll get his best bets this week. NFL, college football, a couple of awesome games tonight in college basketball that he likes as well. Pauly here will go with the best and worst teams in the NFL and college football ATS. And with totals, the best team they covered last week, nearly won. It's Seattle. They're 8-2 against the spread. Great story. That guy is certainly alive to win Coach of the Year. I don't have anything on him.
Third choice, yes.
Yep. The short shot to win that award is Mike Vrabel. They're 8-3 ATS. The Rams and Eagles, 7-3 against the spread. Panthers, 7-4. The Bears, Colts, and Lions are also 6-4. How about the Lions being 6-4 ATS, but 6-4 straight up? In jeopardy here. Got to win a bunch of these games down the stretch to ensure a playoff spot. That's the best. We now pivot to the worst teams here in the NFL. Commanders 3-8. Oh boy, what a bad year. A lot of people saw that coming. They expected the regression, not the injury, obviously. But they have some marquee games coming up, or primetime games anyway, thinking that they were going to be a 10-win playoff team again. Yikes. Saints, Bengals, Packers, 3-7. Packers played their level of competition so much. The Titans, Raiders, Ravens, Texans are all 4-6 ATS. Now we go to totals here. To the over. The Vikings, Bengals, Ravens, and Cowboys are 7-3 over. Technically, the Cowboys game did go over on Monday night because of the closing number. The 49ers are 7-4. Titans, Buccaneers, and Seahawks 6-4 to the over. Your best teams now in the NFL to the under. Full season to date. Broncos are 8-3 under. Chiefs 7-3 under. Texans 7-3 under. I like the game under tomorrow night.
Every Chiefs first quarter has gone under but one.
Oh, very good. Saints 7-3 under. Atlanta, the Rams, and the Raiders are 6-4 under, and the Chargers are 6-5 to the under. Now we go to college football here with your best teams in this sport against the spread. And Ohio State has been there pretty much the entire year. They've been on top. They are still on the list, but your sole leader at the very top is Texas Tech. They're 9-2.
Yeah. It depends what number you got. Could be 10-1 too.
Yeah, you're right. And how about that, by the way? They're laying massive numbers and getting there like every week.
And there's been no letdown and no such thing as a bad spot for them. And after what you saw last night, all they got to do is beat West Virginia. because they're not going to drop like 7 spots for losing in the Big 12 title game and be penalized.
Is there a path where Texas Tech could turn into a top 8 program perennially because of how much money they're going to spend?
If they keep doing this, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's what I thought we'd see with SMU.
Right.
But that could still happen.
Sure.
They've just have some questionable kicking, quarterback play, and some weird losses.
All right, so a bunch of teams are 8-2. This is all ATS in college football. It's here's the list: Utah State, San Diego State, Utah, Vandy, Western Kentucky, North Texas, and Ohio State. Very impressive for the Buckeyes to be on the list still. All right, those are the best teams. The worst teams, ATS, in college football. Georgia State, 1-9. Monroe, 2-8. Va Tech, 2-8. James Franklin takes the job. Baylor, 2-8. Texas can't cover it all. They're 2-8 ATS. Pauly, your Minnesota Golden Gophers, 2-7-1 against the spread. UMass, 3-8. Oregon State is 3-8. Okay, now we go to the totals here in college football. Best teams of the over. Navy and Texas A&M are both 8-2. You have Stetson 7-2. Boston College, UMass, and Rhode Island 8-3.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
They make the list. Central Michigan and Texas San Antonio are 7-3 over. And the list now of the best teams to the under. Oklahoma, 8-2 under. Wisconsin, makes sense. Couldn't score for a month in a row, I don't think.
That's hilarious. They beat Washington, and the leading passer was their punter.
Yeah. Wyoming, Arkansas State are both 8-2. Army is 6-2 under. Purdue 8-3. Lamar is 8-3. And the Citadel chimes in this week at 7-3 to the under. There you go. Best and worst college and the NFL.
All right. NHL, hockey, goal in the first 10. Pittsburgh 8-0 at home. Utah 7-0. Carolina 8-1. Streaks. Good job, Ian Duncan, putting this together. Mitch retweeted him. He does an excellent job. Give him a follow. Washington 8 in a row. Colorado 13 of 14. Ottawa 15 of 18. On the road, goal in the first 10. Ottawa 8 in a row. Leafs 5 of 6. And Chris Otto does a great job with the first periods and the streaks as well.
He put me on a play tonight, actually.
Okay.
In the National Hockey League that we'll get to with the Pocket Plays coming up in about 25 minutes. I got some NBA stuff here as well. Detroit and the Lakers are 11-4 against the spread. The Pistons were awesome again last night.
It's 11 wins in a row. So I know we've talked about that prop, longest winning streak, and when's the next loss coming for OKC? But obviously it resets if they lose. Detroit might say, okay, we win 13 in a row. We'll take our chances here with that prop.
Now, how about this? You want to get a little nuts? How about the Pistons to win the Cup, which I saw at 16-1 yesterday, the way that they're playing. They're 2-0 in their group. Magic also 2-0. But there's a path for them to get to the actual Cup title game. Or would you think about OKC against Detroit NBA Finals exacta? You can do the matchup, or you could do OKC over Detroit. They can win the East.
That series was awesome last year too against the Knicks.
If they had
the Knicks are a lot better offensively. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but this team is...
It's so hard. That's because teams going through the motions right now. Regular season, it's early. There's been injuries, right? Garland had a setback.
There is no good number out there in the Pistons, by the way, to win the East.
Yeah.
I couldn't even find... If you do, you can tweet us. That'd be great.
And the division's plummeted, too.
Yeah, but I didn't even see 10-1 on them to win the East last night when I looked. Maybe that's out there. But to win the Cup 16-1, I'm intrigued by that.
Okay.
So, but the Lakers did it last night. What did they score? $140?
Yeah.
In that game? You had that earlier? Most points since when?
Oh, it's this year. I don't know how. I don't know how far back it goes. Yeah.
Yep.
But LeBron took his time getting involved and dished out a ton of assists. It was a nice win for him.
It must be noted that Phoenix won and covered last night. They're 10-5.
Can't believe this story. This is nuts.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be awful.
I know they are. I'm not suggesting that you bet this. I'm not going to bet it. I'm not telling you to bet it. I will point out, with how good of a start they're off to, the Suns are at least 80-1 to win the Pacific Division. They have to get ahead of, obviously, the Lakers, who are playing great basketball. The Warriors are in front of them.
All it takes is an injury, and Golden State with the health and just worried about getting to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
They're going to lose tonight. How they treat back-to-backs, they should. Heat's laying 10. That'll be 9-8.
Right. Well, Maybe take some pocket change and put it on that. By the way, Washington, it feels like they're catching like 15 every game. They're 2-11 against the spread. We're talking about the Raiders being years away in the NFL. How far is this team away from being competitive?
They've lost 11 in a row.
Oh, it's
Man,
comical.
I know it's been a long time. Probably since, when did they, I have to look back, but when they lost to Boston in the second round with Beal and
John Wall?
and Wall.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
and then they had a play-in run with when they picked up Westbrook. They did make the play-in, but it has just been no chance, no hope for years. Why would you buy season tickets? I mean,
That's got to go back to at least 2016 is my guess. Because Beal came out of college in 2013. So I'll probably almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah, well, it is interesting here how things have flipped. And I know it's early, but still, the 10 seed right now in the West is Utah at 5-9. The Milwaukee Bucks would not even be in the play-in, and they're over 500.
Wild.
The East has been so bad for so long, especially at the bottom, like when you're looking 8, 9, 10, and beyond. And a lot of times we've seen someone get in under 500. This is at least refreshing that we have a lot of surprises and better teams in the East so far.
And I'll give you this one, too. So Portland is 10-3 to the over. I'm sorry, 11-3 over this year. And they're going over on average by 10.8 points per game. They're not the best over team in the NBA. You know who it is. It's the team with the best offense.
Houston, huh?
Houston is 10-1-1 to the over.
Is that right?
And they're going over by 8.8. Like, that's why I thought the game tonight against the Cavs opened up a little bit low. I think this game could be, the way that this is going and the way the Cavaliers can play at home and Mitchell and if the threes are dropping, because you know they're going to put up 40-plus probably in the game, this game could be 131, 125.
It's always fun when you listen to these shows and podcasts and stuff. There's always some nuggets and deep dive stuff like what the Rockets are doing, offensive rebounding percentage.
Yeah,
40%?
Yeah.
That's nuts. It's like the Joker stuff. Think sports start getting paid for it with Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app, where your sports knowledge turns into cash. Sign up today, get free money and no deposit needed. And when you do deposit, you get a 50% deposit match up to $200. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Head to better.app. Promo code VSiN for your free money deposit bonus. Better.app. Get it now.
A lot of bets to get into with VSiN host Matt Youmans coming up next. He's got a couple of looks tonight in college basketball, a full slate of games this weekend in college football, and a couple of bets he likes in the NFL. Find out who he likes next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time now for some best bets, NFL, college football, maybe a little college basketball as well tonight. Some really good games on the schedule as VSiN host Matt Youmans joins the program now. He is on the Progressive Guest Line. Matt, good afternoon. Good to talk to you as always. Let's begin here. A little National Football League. Bears, Steelers. Intriguing matchup. Is Rodgers going to play? Is it going to be Rudolph? You have a bet here. You like a side. Which one is it?
Well, I bet Steelers +3 early this week, and I talked about that with Super Dave and Jensen on that morning show Tuesday. If Mason Rudolph is a quarterback, I got a lot of confidence in him, actually. He jumped in there in the second half last week, led 2 scoring drives. He's 12 for 16, 127 yards with a touchdown. I actually think the offense might be a little better with Rudolph than it is with Rodgers, especially if Rodgers has the wrist issue. And you look at the Bears, they're 7-3, but no teams have been luckier in the NFL at this point. The Bears have won games by 1, 2, 4, and 5 points. And you can make an argument they probably should have lost all 5 of those. They have the NFL best turnover margin of +16 with 22 takeaways and 6 giveaways, and that's been the secret to the Bears' success. But, I do like the Steelers in this spot. And I think I talked to Jason Jarvis, who's the leader right now in the Circuit Friday Football Invitational. And as I mentioned to you, Jarvis is in the zone right now. He's seeing things better than about anybody I know. Maybe Potato Commish is a little bit hotter. But Jarvis has got 10 straight best bet winners. I said, what do you think of Steelers-Bears? Because I was considering this survivor option. And he said, I think the Steelers are going to beat them. So I crossed the Bears off the survivor list. I like the Steelers anyway.
Okay. How about the Chiefs? Do they bounce back after losing in Denver and got to have it game season on the line? Any cliche you want?
Yep. Throw out all all those cliches, and I do think they matter this week for a 5-5 team that's 3.5 games back of the Broncos. It looks like they're going to win the AFC West. Chiefs have won that 9 straight years, every year since 2016. But the one-score games last year, I know you probably talked about 12-0, and this year they're 0-5. I think Patrick Mahomes' play has declined significantly, and I think it's a big reason why they're not winning those one-score games. And the Colts are in a decent situation here off a bye, but I think when you get a team like the Chiefs backed against the wall in a must-win type of game at home at 3 minus 120, I had to play it. I think the Chiefs are going to come up big. You're going to see their A game this week. Another thing about this is the Colts' defensive line is not going to put the type of pressure. Their defensive front's not going to put the type of pressure on Mahomes that the Broncos did. Mm-hmm. And the Broncos were all over him Sunday.
Matt, so I'm watching the Northwestern Michigan game last weekend, and you love Northwestern plus the points. That was never really a sweat. And you actually said on the show a week ago, I think they can win the game. I want to put some money on them on the money line. They almost did. I mean, they could have easily won that game. Now you're going to fade Michigan again this weekend. You're taking the points. Are you going to sprinkle a little money line on Maryland as well?
I'm not going to bet Maryland money line this week. I was more confident in Northwestern as a home dog last week. I like Northwestern's coach, David Braun, a lot better than I like Mike Loxley. And I thought the Purple Cats at Wrigley Field were really going to be live to win that game. They end up losing 24-22. Loxley is coming back to Maryland. I think that's going to be a boost for this team. He's a player's coach. They like him. They're going to play for him. Even though he's not one of my favorite coaches, he's a recruiter. Maryland should be, I'm going to say, somewhat live in this spot because I think you have to look at the look-aheads for Ohio State and Michigan before they play each other next week. And the Big Ten does this a lot where they set up the Wolverines and Buckeyes with a relatively easy opponent the week before they play each other. You notice Ohio State's a 31.5-point favorite against Rutgers. And Michigan right now it's circa laying 14 to Maryland. The problem here with the Wolverines, and there's a few. Bryce Underwood, the quarterback, I thought looked pretty good. Freshman looked pretty good in the first half last week, but then he regressed and got picked off a couple times in the second half. He still tries to rocket every throw, even when he's got a receiver open 5 yards away from him. He hasn't learned how to play quarterback yet, but Michigan had a really good running attack that was able to, I think he could lean on for a lot of help with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. Well, Haynes is out. He had foot surgery. I'm not even sure he's going to make it back for the Ohio State game. He was the leading rusher. Jordan Marshall's a really good back, too. He left the Northwestern game with an upper arm, shoulder injury. And Sharon Moore, the coach, said he doesn't look like he's going to play this week against Maryland. So you got your top two running backs out. You're looking ahead to the Ohio State game. I think you got to take the Terps plus 14.
All right. San Diego State was a huge dog to win the Mountain West. They got a big win last week in a game you were at. They should be safe, hopefully, but it's a mess about who's going to meet in the Mountain West title game. Yeah. How about the game out here Friday? UNLV lane 3 against Hawaii, 64.5 the total.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game Friday night. It's going to be a lot better than that Cowboys-Raiders game was at Allegiant Stadium on Monday night. I think this should be a shootout. And if you look at Micah Alejado, the freshman quarterback for Hawaii, he's out of Bishop Gorman in Vegas. He's going to be jacked up for this game. In the last 5, Hawaii's 4-1. Alejado's averaged 358.8 yards passing, and that offense has averaged 39 points a game. If you look at the UNLV defense right now, it ranks 100th or worse in almost every key category, especially the pass defense categories. And it's not just Alejado. He's got 3 big-time speed receivers who can make plays. And you saw what the Hawaii offense did to that San Diego State defense a couple weeks ago. That was the Aztecs defense that was number 2 in the nation in scoring. And Hawaii put up 24 points in the first half. I think Hawaii's going to go up and down the field here against UNLV. I like it over 64.5. I'm taking the dog plus 3. Rebels were lucky to beat Utah State a week ago in double overtime because the Aggies missed a couple of field goals they should have made. And again, UNLV is an 8-2 team, but 5 of those wins are by 1 score, so I do like Hawaii.
Dynamite analysis there. If you're not a Gator, you're Gator bait. Do you think Florida's a live dog against Tennessee this weekend? I
do. And the Vols have not won in the Swamp since 2003. And Billy Gonzalez, who's the interim coach, these players like him. I think they want to win for him. It's going to be an electric night, actually, in the Swamp, even though you got a 7-3 team against a 3-7 team. I think Florida really wants this win in this rivalry game. It's their first true home game in about a month. They're going to honor Urban Meyer. You could say a couple weeks ago that it looked like the Gators quit when they got blown out by Kentucky, but they came back last week and played Ole Miss really tough. In fact, Florida led that game 24-20 going into the fourth quarter, and there was a big controversial call that went Ole Miss's way. Somebody needs to investigate the SEC officiating, by the way. You want to talk about corruption. The SEC officiating needs to be investigated. Anyway, Ole Miss gets off the hook and wins the game. I think the Gators are going to be live to win this. You can find 4.5 out there, 4 at most spots. But I do like the Gators to come up big here in a night game in the Swamp.
How about college hoops tonight? Number 3 against number 4. UConn 4.5 against Arizona.
All right, so what's interesting about this game? Did you guys talk about the Terrace Reed injury yet?
No, we talked about the UConn game against BYU a little bit, though.
Okay, yeah, UConn was up 20 and almost blew the game.
Yep.
I got to think that Dan Hurley's going to be, he'll be a psycho on the sideline tonight, and his team blew a 20-point lead. He's going to be ticked off about that. But also, Hurley's a coach who puts so much emphasis on defense, and that's not true with Tommy Lloyd on the other side. So you've got one of the strongest home courts in college basketball, and Hurley, a defensive maniac against Tommy Lloyd, who's basically an offensive coach. I love UConn in this spot. The thing I don't like is the Terrace Reed injury, which just came down about an hour ago. So this number opened 4.5, which I thought was about right. It got up to 7.5. And Will Hill, who's going to the game tonight, asked me about it today, and I said, I think 7.5 is a little too high. Well, it dropped to 4.5, and that's because Terrace Reed, the 6'11 senior, averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds, is out. And that's going to leave a big hole in the middle tonight for UConn. So I loved UConn in the game. Don't like them as much now, but I still think UConn finds a way to pull out the win. Might be something you look at live, or maybe something you would play on the money line tonight.
Okay, one other game, too. Alabama plays against Illinois. I had this game circled a couple of days ago for one reason. I wanted to look at the total. Then I saw the opener of 181. I'm like, okay, that'll do it for me. I'm not going to bet that one. But sitting at 180.5 right now. Illini by 3. What do you like here?
So Alabama made 16 threes against Purdue, but then I think it was 16 for 44. They're going to put up about 50 threes tonight. Just like you, I was looking at this game and I said, I want to bet this over the total. DraftKings briefly opened the total 176.5.
Oh, okay.
But it got bet up pretty quickly and got up to 182.5. Now 180. I think that total's about right at 180. Like I said, I wish I had played this over 176.5. This is the type of game. Look, Illinois is not a really strong defensive team, but they've got scorers and they've got size all over the floor. They're going to be able to score inside on Alabama. They're going to score from all over the place. But the Tide are going to jack up threes, and the Illini don't defend the three-point line very well. So I still think, you got a real good shot that this is going to go over the total of 180. That's the only way I could look at that game tonight.
Very good. Matt, great spot as always. Best of luck this week. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
There you go. A little bit of everything there sprinkled in. By the way, for the record, college football, he also likes Stanford +3 against Cal, and he likes Utah State. On the screen right now, I'm seeing that team also +3 against Fresno this week. Up next, got a couple of good 6-7 plays for tonight, and I'm going to run. This guy is now cleared to play tonight. He's been out for a couple of weeks, but he was going bombs away from downtown. He's almost 2-1 to make 2 threes tonight. I got to run it by Pauly first. I'll tell you who it is next on VSiN.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're right.
Good game tomorrow in the NFL. Break it down with Charge tomorrow. We'll be on the pregame show with Matt and Tim Murray as well. Both teams to make a 33-yard field goal. Fairbairn is back after the quad injury.
That's confirmed, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
It's $1.40 at Westgate. And Caesars likes to put up the 35 yards on you, too, so be careful with the juice. But notice the difference in yards, but 33 yards down the street on that one. I got to jump in. Sanders can't throw for 150 yards against the Raiders. Some of these props are crazy. I know the kid was in a tough spot, but Baltimore was sent to the house every single play. And I know the knock on him in college was he held onto the ball too long, but didn't have time to throw. Horrible Raider defense. I think he could throw for 150 yards, at least in the game Sunday. Tonight. So a good lesson was learned last week when Paul Stone was on the show. The game was the next day. But Paul Stone made Miami, Ohio a pick against Toledo, yet Toledo was laying 4. He was checking on the quarterback, Finn. What's going on? This number doesn't make any sense. Trust your gut. Go with your gut. And half an hour before the game, it came out that Finn had an illness. Well, then it was announced that I'm getting ready for the NFL. I quit the team.
Yep.
And Toledo pounded them. And Miami of Ohio couldn't get a first down. So I think that's demoralizing and tough on the locker room. What happened? Horrible timing by Finn. I like Buffalo tonight against Miami, Ohio, catching 2.5 as the new quarterback had a tough go of it last week. 2 action games tonight. Thunder Kings, first quarter over. The other night, the Thunder had a 49-point first quarter.
Yep.
Sacramento, 9-1 overrun. Last 10 in the first quarter. OKC should get whatever they want tonight in this one as an 18-point favorite. And as we talked about yesterday, and it looks better now, jump on in. Alabama dropped 6 spots and lost to a good Oklahoma team and beat themselves. What do you think's going to happen if Ole Miss loses to Miss State? Not to mention the Kiffin nonsense and that distraction. Ole Miss to miss the playoffs 11-1. Good luck.
Okay. A couple of winners last night. Spurs got there late. I believe they closed on a 10-0 run to cover the game.
Oh.
I don't think they were covering the entire game until the final minute. Thank you, Harrison Barnes. I love you. He was awesome late. They covered the 5.5 against Memphis. Also, here's the thing. IU Indy, it's cute playing this style, right? And getting up and down, scoring all those points.
Yeah.
They are absolutely horrendous. And they got blasted last night by Charleston Southern. Like, Southern led the entire time. Luke by, 20? I mean, they trailed, I think, 11-2, and after that, they killed them in the first half and pretty much coasted the rest of the way to get the outright win at plus 110, so that was good. Pending next week, Feast Week, the battle for Atlantis. Yeah. Vandy and St. Mary's, the 2 best teams with a bullet in the field. I said this yesterday. Upsets happen, but both teams have a clear path to get to the title game, at which point I would make Vandy 2.5 maybe over St. Mary's. So give me the Gales here, plus 375 to win the battle for Atlantis next week. And more plays that we have coming up tonight. Chris Otto, as you mentioned earlier, does a great job on Twitter with all the angles for the NHL. I'm on Bruins Ducks. Mike Palm is going to go the other way. He wanted Swayman in net. He's not in net. So I'm on Bruins Ducks first period over 1.5 minus 135. Josh Giddey, PRA tonight, points, rebounds, assists, 37.5. He's averaging in the month of November 43.5 per game on the year, 41 plus. He just went past this number against Denver the other night. The total here against Portland is low 240s. I got to give it another shot here with him. And a couple of 3-point props I'm on for tonight. Reed Shepherd, because he's my guy, and it's plus money now. I did find it. It's been changing throughout the entire show. You can actually find better than I can here in Las Vegas, but I got plus 107. Over 2.5 made threes. The Cavaliers are, I think, the 5th worst team against the 3 in the entire league, and this total, again, is mid-230s. Houston, best offense in the entire league. I'll keep riding him. And my big one tonight, though, is Benedict Matherman, over 2.5 threes. He's back. In 3 games so far this year, he took 9 threes in one of them, 8 in another. I think he was hurt in the other one where he took 2. But I'm playing the alt here at 3+ made threes at 2-1 as the Charlotte Hornets allow opposing teams to shoot 41+% from downtown, which is by far the worst mark in the entire league. So Benedict Matherman is my guy tonight.
All right. Go get him. And with Fairbairn expected back tomorrow, he's on a 17-3 overrun, over 1.5 made field goals. Right now, at some books, you can find that plus money tomorrow.
I just bet that, by the way. I didn't have time to give it to Luke in pocket.
Yeah,
he's minus 140 at some other spots. But if you look real hard, there is a plus money out there on him.
He missed a 50-yarder against Jacksonville, or it'd be an 18-2 overrun. Wild. Think you know sports? It's time to get paid for it. Better Picks, the daily fantasy app where your sports dollar turns into real cash fast. Download the Better app, pick more or less on your favorite player stats. If your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up, no deposit required. When you do deposit, you get a 50% deposit match, up to $200. Better has action year-round, NBA, MLB, soccer, UFC, golf, and more. Head to better.app, BETR, download Better in the App or Google Play Store. Promo code VEASAN for your free money deposit bonus today. Better.app.
Paul, what if I told you there is a guy in the NBA tonight who's been out for a couple of weeks? He's officially cleared to come back and play in this game tonight. They are a big favorite against a team playing on a back-to-back. And he had games early on in the season where he made 4, 4, and 3 threes in 3 different games. And he was shooting as many as 13 threes in a game.
What?
His prop tonight is 1.5. You can find right now 2-1 if you look for it.
Is it Bam?
It's Bam Adebayo.
Oh.
DraftKings has plus this number since he was cleared. The number keeps coming down. Hard Rock had plus 215. DraftKings had plus 179 a little earlier.
Yeah, this is interesting. As I said last week or 2 weeks ago, he was taking too many threes.
He was.
But this another guy who's worked on his game, and it's just bombs away here.
Well,
but yeah, I like it, but it's
to your point. After the game where he shot 13, he took 5 against the Lakers, 4 against the Clippers, and in the game that he got hurt against Denver, he took 2 in 8 minutes. So the attempts did come down a little bit here, but 2-1. Or in that neighborhood to make 2 tonight? Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Good numbers from Kevin Rogers. Cavs 1-7 first half at home. Charlotte 12-2 overrun first quarter. Philly 6-1 over first half. Denver 12-3 ATS first quarter. Their opponent New Orleans 1-6 ATS at home first quarter. Sacramento 9-1 over, I mentioned, not last 10 first quarter. Dallas 1-9 at home ATS first half. Bulls 9-1 over last 10 first half games. They're in Portland tonight.
Yeah, they are. And here's another player. The number to me is a little bit too high at this point. However, he's been absolutely crushing it in his last 4 games. This is since Embiid got hurt. Andre Drummond, points and assists in 4 games since. 17-12, 14-13, 12-11, 14-18. His points and rebounds prop tonight is 24.5 with juice. He's a rebounding machine, and then he's actually he has taken on average almost 10 attempts per game from the floor. Not quite, but a little bit more than about 8.5. We'll call it attempts per game. I don't know, something to maybe consider there. Mm-hmm. But also, I know people who. It's late now, like I said, but they got on his rebounding ladder props right away once Embiid got injured. So that has to be Maxi's team, Pauly.
Yep.
Love that dude.
Not bad, 8-5. But the Toronto story is incredible. What they've done, 9-5. And definitely what's going on in Detroit with 11-game winning streak. And it's a good game tonight in about 5 minutes with Houston and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Again, Houston, the number 1 team in offensive efficiency and doing such a great job on the boards, especially the offensive rebounding rate and percentage. 9-3. They've won 9 of 10. And it's a disappointing 10-5, considering what happened last year. But they've dealt with some injuries and some back-to-backs and sitting some guys. You see the league fined them for what they did in Miami. But it's a good game tonight. Should be a high-scoring game coming up on ESPN with Houston and Cleveland.
By the way, Sam Merrill ruled out of that game.
Oh, no.
More news coming down here in the last couple of minutes of the show. Cooper Flagg is out of the game tonight for Dallas. And Kelly Oubre now official. He's going to miss at least 2 weeks for the 76ers. That bumps up Grimes, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Edgecombe, obviously. And does he take more shots now?
Yes. And I like his PRA, too.
Yeah, he's been so good at that the entire time.
Good show tomorrow. J.R. Starkus is back, baby. We're going to be blown away, apparently, by the drink that he's going to make for everyone. And we'll talk holidays and Thanksgiving. David Baker as well, and charts on the props and Thursday Night Football.
Yep. Stay tuned. Matt Brown, Mike Somich next. VSiN Primetime. 4 hours coming up here on VSiN. Good luck tonight.